Today we're going actually to work on how to get into the hermit mode. So I'll give you an example. I've already actually dealt the cards before this video in order to save time. So we're going to start with something that actually we have to shift, because the hermit mode talks about withdraw, divine wisdom, and reflection. So the first two cards that we have here is the Sun in reverse and the Three of Wands, right? This energy here, this frequency, this mindset is related to when you feel unhappy, when you feel negativity, and there is some sort of disorganization because you cannot see what you have already accomplished through all of the cycles that you have been through, right? The mindset, if you work on this frequency of unhappiness, of feeling unfulfilled, and looking at the negative side of things, and this feeling of chaos and loss, you are going to feel demotivated, dissatisfaction, and the feeling of separation as well, and loneliness. You see here this little guy, he has his arm crossed, his legs crossed, and someone is offering something to him, but still he is not looking up, he's not accepting, he is with his eyes closed, and he cannot see other paths ahead, he cannot see other options because his mindset is not shifted in this case, right? In order for us to not operate on this kind of frequency, we need to go on hermit mode. The hermit mode is when you do actually a wise withdraw from these thought patterns. How do we do that? First, you observe what you're thinking about. Instead of only going into what you're feeling, going into what your mind actually is telling you, you observe, you are an observer of your mind, and in this way you can perceive the thought patterns that you are operating in. This gives you the ability to learn instead of going back to this demotivation, dissatisfaction, and separation. Why not learn more about self-development? Learn more about the things that you feel you lack in order for you to tackle this in a more practical way. This is a wise withdrawal. You are not operating here anymore. You are trying to learn. You are trying to learn about yourself, to learn about your thoughts, and perceive the mindset that you're operating in, instead of going back to negativity. Here you work on curiosity. What are these feelings trying to tell me? What are these outcomes trying to teach me? Where I can change in a way that's going to bring a fulfilled promise in order for you to receive what is rightfully yours in the spiritual realm, right? So when you perceive and observe, you actually get into another state actually where you find divine wisdom. So there is actually a cross link between self-development and the search for divine wisdom. This will give you the right mindset in order to give you a good outcome. So as we are talking about learning and learning about self-development, it's important to learn about the divine and search for divine wisdom and learn how the divine works, right? The spiritual realm, we could say like God, is not an ATM machine where you are going through something difficult and you go and God just give you an answer, or you just search God when you're going through something. Like, you go not to learn about him or them, you go searching for results, right? The importance here is to search and learn how the divine actually works, not to get the result out of it, but to learn and have a relationship with God, right? So in order for you to learn about God, or what you call the universe, I don't like this word universe, but there is actually some things that you have to take into account, right? In order for you to gain wisdom, it's important for you to be rawly honest, very honest about the positive and negative aspects, your difficulties and your victories, right? It's very important for you to be honest with God. This actually puts you in a place of vulnerability, because you are exposing your heart, you're exposing your thoughts and feelings. And also another aspect of learning divine wisdom is to abide by divine policies, right? So I work with two entities and they have their own policies. So willingly, I abide by these policies, because not because I only want to get out of this negative emotional cycle, but because I want to be aligned with them. I want to know them, right? This will give you transformation. This will give you an alignment with the divine, and also in a cross alignment with yourself, right? That's why God says, love God above all else, and love your neighbor as yourself. So there is here two aspects of learning that we need actually to tap into in the hermit mode. This part of the divine wisdom, it's a good outcome having alignment, but don't get fooled. Being honest and being vulnerable, it's very difficult. This is going to help you purge the low vibrations that we have here, right? And sometimes you can feel that this process is difficult and you are suffering, but bear in mind that mindsets, they are very important and powerful vibrations. If you see the transformation that you are going through as suffering, instead of going up in the loop, in the cycles, right, and getting better results every cycle that you close, you are going to go back here. So here the mindset is very important. Are you going through a certain transformation, or are you working actually in this vibration? What you're going to see is that if you're working in the hermit mode and you are coupling self-development with divine wisdom, you are going to go through these cycles here more easily. First is more difficult, you close a cycle, then you go up, you go through a cycle again, but it's easier for you to get out of it until you get into the emperor mode. The emperor mode is the final transformation in this cycle, because here you are reaching the final archetype, where this kind of vibration, which is an oppressive kind of vibration, is not having influence in your life anymore, because you can go through, you can actually feel unhappy, but at the same time, in a snap of a finger, you are here again. You are completing a cycle, and you are acting, and you're having courage, and you conquered these emotions. This doesn't mean that you're not gonna feel this, but this means that you're going to be able to tackle into your emotions, into these vibrations in a more practical way. And this will bring you more order inside, and you will be able to create under a more positive vibration in order for you to get better results. And in this mode, you are in charge of your emotions. This doesn't, you don't suffer anymore. You feel it, but you're able to complete the cycle more quickly, right? Another aspect of the final mode of the, like, getting out of the hermit mode and transforming yourself into the emperor, is that you are going to learn that it's important to choose your battles. There are battles that they're yours, there are battles that they are not. So you're going to learn how to war in the spirit. You're going to learn how to conquer your emotions, and you're going to know, right? Is this something that comes from inside me, like from a pure heart, from a kind and divine kind of mental thought? Or am I actually battling other people's struggles, right? In the emperor mode, you're able to reach out for help and have teamwork, cooperation, and again, creativity, because you are not thinking like, I don't want to receive these because I have already suffered a lot, so why are you giving me this now? Everything is over. You are not in this type of mindset anymore, but you are open to receive because your heart is in the right place, and you have the tools in order to tackle difficulties in a more practical manner, right? So the difference here is that you are not in an aggressive mode anymore. You are not dramatic anymore, right? You are not self-doubting you anymore, because you already worked your heart inside. You already know how to conquer your own emotions and thoughts in order for you to work in a better mindset and energy. In order for us to finish, I actually draw some oracle cards. The first one is this: freedom and strength. Like the horse, release yourself from constraints and pursue the life that truly belongs to you. Nothing can stop you as long as you dare to chase your dreams. Power and freedom will be with you. This is the Emperor archetype. You have freedom to choose. You have freedom to go after your dreams because you are not working on this mindset anymore. Then we have the next card, Giant Clams. Peace, find peace in the depths of your being, and let the quiet strength of your inner sanctuary protect you. The Emperor is a way for you to protect yourself, right? So this brings you to the hermit mode. You go inside and you work on self-development and spiritual relationship. And whispering ferns, trust your intuition to guide you on your path. So here you are trusting your intuition and not your emotions. So practicing trusting your guts instead of trusting what your mind tells you. is very important in order to get into the hermit mode and complete the cycles and be the emperor in your life. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you have a great day. See you next time. Bye.